Hey, you 2B troopers, how's it going today? Old Steve-O's kind of landlocked here into the homestead. It's raining outside. We got Irma coming. Getting ready for that hurricane. Hopefully it veers to the right. Yeah, it's barreling down on us, Cat 5. Just what we need, right? So I've got all my supplies ready yesterday. My water. Went to Lowe's, picked up some food grade buckets and rinsed them out good with bleach, loaded them with water. So I got those ready for that. Went to Walmart, picked up another solar shower. Yeah, and then I went down to picked up at Lowe's some more LP tanks. I got 2 more of those. That gives me a total of 5. I got my big turkey cooker. I got my rocket stove. I've got tons of paper logs to go in the rocket stove. So, yeah, now I got to get out, as soon as it quits raining, get out here and get the plywood ready and start putting the plywood and clip locks in the windows just to get ready. Yeah, that's stuff we do in Florida. Okay, yeah, so I thought today would be a good day to show you what Catfish rigs I use out on the Longline, and so you know what gear to use if you ever decide to get into catfishing on a little bigger level. You do need a license for this. In Florida, they only charge you 25 bucks. There are rules, like the rules for me, where I go. There, you can only fish Sunday night to Thursday morning. Friday, Saturday, you can't fish. They leave that for the recreational. So yeah, so that you got some rules, and you can't deploy your gear until sundown, and you got to get it out of the water by 9 a.m. So there's deals you do. So I run a line that I can easily handle with my gas-powered reel, and I run like 2,000 feet of main line. And so I wanted to show you the gear I use if you guys ever decide to get into this. All right, so let's holster up here and show you what I got. All right, the hooks I use are an Eagle Claw. I get them from these people right here, Memphis Net and Twine. They've got a 1-800-238-6380. Good service. I've used these people forever. Great service. And you get all your supplies through them. So let's get into the supplies here. These are the clips. Now they don't come with a swivel. I add the swivel to this, but it's no big deal. You can just, you pop this out, and this comes over here and out, like so. So you've got that. So this is the way you'll get the clip. So you just bring this on, you bring this over, and you pop it down into that bottom little hole there. This is about I think about a 100-pound swivel. And then this thing, you just lift up a little bit on this tab here. You just lift up, and this hook will come out. So you lift back up and shove it in there. Okay. And that's that. These are the 3/0. They're the 3/0 hook, and they're called a big eye. And the reason you want the big eye, so you can pass. I'll show you in a minute how to rig the drop line. But you're going to double some number 9 twine through that. And these puppies right here are strong, and I buried the slap out of sight in me. If you're not paying attention, yeah, you're going to get a hook in these in your hide. And what I usually do, I grab them when I do get a hook in me. I've got carry 2 sets in case you drop one in the water. You're not going to get these hooks out of it. I carry Leathermans on my hip, but I also carry 2 long-billed pliers to get these out, and out of the fish and out of me. So what I do is run my needle nose right down tight against right up next to my hide, say that that's buried in me like so, I'll run my pliers right here, and you'll notice the curvature of the hook. That you're going to want to snatch it out of you that same direction. If you do. Now if you're careful, you're not going to get a hook in you, and that's our goal, because yeah, it's going to hurt. So you bring your, say this is pliers, you run this up close, and then you're going to do a fast snatch, like 1, 2, 3 snatch. You're going to rotate fast, and you're not going to go slow. You're going to snatch this out of you very fast, okay? And it's going to bleed. Let it bleed. You want the wound to clean itself. So let it bleed. All right, that's enough of that horror story there. What else? Here is the line that I use for droppers. It's Memphis twine, twisted number 9. Nylon seine twine. This is the stuff here. And what I do is I cut a 2-foot chunk. I've got a tape. Now what I do out on my bench, I didn't want to take into my shop because it looks like a bombing range in there. And so I thought I'd do it on the dining room table here to show you. And what I do, I have marks on my table and for layout. And they're just Sharpie marks on my table. And here you're going to want, for this dropper, you're going to want 2 feet. So I come over here 2 feet, get you a good pair of scissors, cut it. Very simple. It's just an overhand like this, under. That's it. That's it. Now, I have in the shop a screw in the bench, and I slip this over it, over that. Then I grab the ends with my lineman pliers like so, and I give it a couple of good sharp snaps, and that locks that down really tight. So now what you're going to do is trim this off. Leave yourself about a 1/4 inch piece here, like so, like that. Now you're going to come over to your candle. Get a big old Christmas candle like this, and you're going to just melt it carefully down. Watch it. You don't get right into the flame, but get it to where it starts to melt, and then dip it in your coffee cup of water. Done. That knot will not come out of there. That is there forever. Okay? That's all you do on that. Now, to stall your hook, so the second thing I do is I'm going to attach it to my quick clip. And on this, you're going to go through your eyelet, and I want the knot up by the quick clip. I want this knot up by this swivel. So I'm going to shove it through here and pull it down. That's it. That's it. Very quick. Your hook, very simple. Take your double line, and you're going to go on the inside. This is the inside of the hook. Go on the inside first. Come double your line, pass it through, and this is where you want the big eye hook. If your standard hook, you're not going to get this double number 9 through there. All right, now pull this out. So you've come through the inside. You're going to pick up just one leg of this loop. You're going to do this 1, 2, 3 wraps. You're going to pull slowly, just like this. You're going to pull slowly and grab it by the end to where this ends up equal. Come on now. Why is it always when you're doing a demonstration things don't go correctly? Why is that? Alright. Still not right. Let me do that again. Let me back out of here. You need to see this twice anyway. The object obviously is to get, when you snap this thing shut, you're going to want a straight line. Okay? Normally I go quite fast. Now I used to do it like that, just one loop. That they would get off of it. A lot of times you would, they're fighting down there pretty hard, and then they would actually untie the darn thing. All right, so now let's do this again. We're here. We're going to go on the inside. We got our line equal. Pull it up. Stick it through. Pull the loop out. 1, 2, 3. Grab it by the end. Come up. Done. There it is. That's it. Now, with this setup, you've got 1 foot of drop hanging here. Okay? 1 foot. That's all you need. And all you need is a 3/0 hook. And I use beef heart, and I cut about a little 3/4 inch square, put that in. That stuff is great. It's good and bloody. They'll smell it for a flipping mile. And they will come in. You'll get also turtles, you'll get garfish, you will get mudfish with this setup. Alright, so you're catching all kinds of critters out there. But that's all I use. I've hooked logs with these, pull logs up off the ground. Now a lot of times you get big turtles, big snappers, alligator snappers or whatever, they will snap this, break it off. Sometimes you'll just come in, you'll have this broken right here. No big deal. You can just take this hook out, and 9 times out of 10 you can keep using your number 9 twine. So that's that. I think that's covered. This stuff here is great. This is number 30. Now this is what I use for my loops. This is tarred. This thing holds knots great. Again, I'm cutting 2 feet of this line to make my loop. I'm cutting 2 feet. And all I did to make a needle, I just took a piece of number 9, smashed it flat on an anvil, drilled a hole in it. Now I can pass this through here, like so. Now I've got my deal threaded. Now, all my main line, the majority of it is 1/4 inch braided nylon. You can get this by the rolls. Like I said, I run like 2,000 feet of this stuff. Now, let me show you what I'm doing here for the anchor end. The anchor end, I want a big loop here to pass through the eyelet, just like I'm going through the eyelet of the hook, I'm going through the eyelet of the anchor. But I want a big loop here. I want a big loop. So all I'm going to do here is this number here. I've got a big enough line to go through the anchor hole and over the anchor, like so. Okay? You're going to do that. You're going to tighten this up really tight. You're going to take your tag in and you're going to put just a stopper knot, I call it, right here. You're going to tighten this up really well. You're going to grab this, your lineman pliers, and tighten this whole rig up really well. You're going to trim it off here, and you're going to use the candle trick. You're going to melt that down. And then I dip that in the water, and then I also heat this a little bit. Don't get too crazy. Heat it up a little bit, just soften it. Grab it with your lineman pliers and really slam it tight. I usually do that before I trim this. And then last thing, you trim this and then you melt the end. Always melt the end of this nylon. Now, for me, I put the anchor on. That's the first thing that goes in the drink, obviously. And then I put my first station, I call them stations, for your clips. I put them at 10-foot intervals, but I don't put my first one in for about 20 feet. So what you do is you measure off. Again, I've got a big roll of this main line over here off the side, sitting on sawhorses or something, with a piece of rebar run through the center of that spool so it'll peel off easy. And I can sit there a couple hours at a time, and it don't take long at all. You can tie up a ton of main line doing this, okay? But you have marks on your table, and I usually have my marks. I got 2-foot mark, and then I've got I got a 4-foot mark. So I'll peel out two 4s and then a 2, and then I've got a Sharpie, and then I'll sit there and I'll mark that main line with a Sharpie. Now I've got it. Now I come over here and I pick up my needle, and I come just a little bit, say of my marks here, I come over about 2 inches from that. I take this needle and run this right through my main line, like so. Now you pull that out, okay? You can leave that in there. You can leave your needle in there, pull out the majority of this. Now, you're gonna take this line, you're gonna come over this side of it, you come over that side, you're splitting the difference here. On each side, you're coming on each side of that main line, you're coming underneath. Now you're gonna come around here and down, and you're going to put a square knot in this thing. You're going to tie a square knot in that. Very simple. Grab your main line and pull that sucker up tight. This tarred nylon, by the way, locks in a knot perfectly. Now you've trapped that thing in there. You've got one leg there. Now you're going to take and put a stopper knot on that side, on the back side of this thing. Come down, cinch that up tight. Now you can grab this, and this will actually pull back down against that stopper knot. Now you got it really locked in there tight. Trimmer off. Come over to your candle. Come over to your candle. Heat her up. She starts melting down like so. It's on fire. Dip it in. Don't let the fire hit that knot. That's it. Now I've dropped my needle. Come over here, reload your needle. This seems like a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, guys. I've tried every combination you can imagine, and this is what I like to do. You guys can rig it any way you want to rig it. This is just what I've been doing for years, and it just keeps my gear in order. Okay. Now you come over just a little bit, about 3 inches apart or so. You come through again, come right through the center of that, and you take your needle off now. Now you just get a little loop like that. Just eyeball a loop. It's not that important. So you're coming on on one side of this, you're coming over, you're coming on this side. Now you've got that thing on each side of that loop. Come under here. Draw that up. Come over here, make a square knot in it. Tighten that thing up good and tight. You want, you got a little extra waste here, but you want that so you're not fighting it so much. Just cut them 2 feet. Line's not that expensive. Bring your backer knot right down. Bring your backer knot right down close. Tighten her up good. Cut her off. Leave yourself about a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch. Hit it with the candle. Dip it in. Done. That rig right there, guys, is not coming out. Now, I'm spacing these every 10 feet, which I find's about right. Get any closer than that, they just start wrapping you up. You get big turtles down there, they'll start tying up your main line, everything else. You got a flipping mess down there, okay? So I find 10 feet is perfect for me. Now, here's your clip. As you're going down through, I have 5-gallon buckets cut off, by the way. I cut them off to about, they're about, I don't know, 6 inches tall, and I take hacksaw and cut slots in. These go inside, the hooks go on the inside, the clip hangs on the outside, so it's dangling like this. You can make them about 7-8 inches high, they're buckets. If you can find pastry buckets, they work great. You can get them for free at the donut shops or whatever. But that's the rig. I just stick it in, and just a hacksaw mark holds this doubled number 9 in there nice, so it's dangling like that. The clips are on the outside, so they're not grabbing your pant leg when you're moving these things around. The dangerous part of the hook is on the inside of the tub. And then the tubs, I drill in 4 points down about 2 inches. I drill in 4 points, 1/4-inch holes, and I take carriage bolts, galvanized carriage bolts, and I put in the bolt inside the bucket, and I nut it up. Now, what have you got? You've got something stackable. Now, don't stack these in your boat when you go with them. This is just stacking them up in the shop to get them out of the way so you got a nice, neat stack. When you're in the boat, take the stack down and just lay them out on the deck to where you can grab them easily, okay? This clip just goes in like this. As you're coming, you snatch it out of your bucket. They're already pre-baited, by the way. I pre-bait all my hooks at the landing. These things are ready to go. When I'm on the water, all I got to do is grab one out of the bucket. As my line's coming out, I have a cleat beside me. And if the main line's going out a little bit too fast, say this is the cleat and it's sailing by me, I'll just set it right inside of a cleat like that. So it's hanging there like this. And then if you got to make adjustments in your boat, you're doing something, whatever, or moving around, it'll be hung up there. Now the main line's not going out. When you get ready to do it, grab the main line, and it's just a quick trick. You get fast at this, boom, it snaps in like that. Now this main line here, see, it ain't going nowhere. It's locked in to the main, and these stay right on permanently. So that's pretty much that. Very simple operation. Yeah, you're just kind of like farming the sea out there with this operator. You're fish farm, organic fish farming. We'll call it that, okay? So that's that. Buoy markers. This thing here. What I've got is a pool noodle, and what I've done here on the end is just to put a piece of chain. This chain is basically a weight, and I added this nut, 3/4 nut to it for additional weight, because this thing will float down about here, about this much, and you adjust it up to where it's floating this much. This tube seems to work out quite nicely, and that dude is 5 feet long. This is 5 feet long. It's 1/2 inch. Schedule 40. It goes nice inside of the pool noodle. Galvanized, I just used galvanized 1/4 inch here, double nutted it. And then I also peened it just so it doesn't come apart. Here I have mule tape hooked to this particular one because matter of fact, I do have some mule tape on my main line. A little bit of it. This stuff's great. If you guys can find somebody is running conduit and you need a main line, this stuff works great. This stuff here is running about 1,800 pound test. There's an old hook that was stuck in there, snapped off. Yeah, and you put a bunch of glue on it. You gob it up with a Bondtite 3 is good, and you slide it on. But for additional action, in case this thing ever comes apart, you cut a piece. This is only 1/2-inch plywood, PT plywood, by the way, and I bored a hole through it where it slide over the 1/2-inch, and then I just hose clamped it. Now that thing's locked in there, ain't going nowhere. So then I put an additional chunk on there, tied a piece of heavy line. This is like 350-pound tar nylon. It's been on here for years, and that's just to fold everything up. On here at the end, I do put trap tags with my name and phone number on that. On my upright here, I've got my phone number and name and phone number. On the other side, I got my license number. I also put on reflective tape on here. Now, years ago in the 70s, I used to longline sharks, and what I would do was duct tape. I'd stay out there all night and fish for sharks. And I would tape glow stick to the top. That'd give you about 8 hours of fishing. You could see them really well out there. I wouldn't tie them off. Back in the day, it's illegal now. They shut us down. They wouldn't let us. They don't let us do it anymore. They said we were hammering the sharks too hard, so we had to stop all that. But I had a lot of fun doing it. Made some money. I had a Oriental guy coming out of New York. He was buying up all my fins. Dried them fins, selling fins. I was selling the meat to local shops and all. Now this is an intermediate buoy here that I have 2 of these. So I've got 2 of these long ones. I put one on each end, and I put two of these in the middle. Just eyeball guess it as I'm letting the main line out. And in here you have the clips, all right, the long line clips. Now for shark back in the day, what I did was use these, and I used a 1/4-inch line, same line, but I did have some Japanese line. They called the Japanese long line. It was a black line. It was kind of a tarred thing, but it was about the same diameter, and it was about 1,800 pounds. But that's what you're running here with this number, this 1/4-inch. And the way these go, you just snap these on like this, and that's it. They lock on like that. Now, if you get a monster shark on there, they would slide. Yeah, I would get some big hammerheads and stuff, and that. But we mostly targeted black-tip shark back in the day. And I always use 16th aircraft cable, the same stuff I used to snare coon and stuff. And stuff, but 16th aircraft cable, and I would use a 2-foot drop with a shark hook on that. And these, I didn't use this style here, floats, obviously. They would have taken these right on down, you'd never see them. These work great for my trot line for the catfish. But yeah, what I did on those, I used 3/4 piping on the sharks. And no, I didn't. I'm sorry. I used 1.5-inch piping for my pipes, and I took the 6-inch crab floats and took 3 of them and drilled through. And I had I had about 4 feet hanging down below the floats and about 6 feet above the floats. And I had 3 of those 6-inch crab floats lashed to, drilled a hole through and lashed them to this. Now they would pull this thing completely underwater. They'd go up and down. When I got a bunch of sharks on there, I could see those glow sticks out there. We did a little bit during the day, but mostly it was nighttime. And those buoys would be going up and down. You see those glow sticks going under the water, pick them up and down. Yeah, we'd run about, I don't know, I'd run about 100 of these clips with that rig on that shark deal. Yeah, we didn't do it for a living. We did it as a sideline fun thing for the weekend and made a few bucks. But the government shut that down. It's no longer, I think they're going to fire it back up because there's just too many sharks out there. People are getting bit up and it's getting a little crazy now. But who knows? So, I guess that's about it. Hopefully I'll get out soon. And I'm waiting for this water to cool off. It's just too darn hot out there to catch catfish. I like to do it around February. So anyway, got any questions on the catfish in action, let me know. I'll shout back at you and help you out however I can. So I will catch you all on the next vid. Be happy. Be safe. Watch out for Irma. She's on her way. Bye-bye.